LeBron's amazing.
I mean, have we seen the best of LeBron James?
Well, I think that, there's a couple issues, Ernie. Number one, guys can play at a higher level longer because there's no physicality in the game anymore. So, like if he played in our day, he'd been getting hit 3, 4, 10 times a game. But because it's a three-point shooting contest now, there's zero physicality in the game. First of all, this guy is amazing, but he's going to be able to stay at a high level longer because there's less physicality.
Maybe I'll go do that on the court at halftime or at post-game. Rather.
Do what?
No, show the difference and why. I always see people, when I say that, and we talk about that in the back, people, what do you mean? How does that affect the way you play? I say it affects everything. It affects the fact that you can demonstrate your ball handling skills and your workout skills. They show more because there's no one. It's like doing it against cones instead of doing it against people. So it's easier to get to places on the floor. So even if you're not a great shooter, you can dribble and get to areas of the floor that you could not have gotten to in the era that we played in. That's different. There's a big difference.
The only disadvantage for LeBron James is that he's so good and he's been so good for so long. The powers that be say, look, we can't give it to this guy every year because he's been doing that his whole career. So, he's always kept his body in phenomenal shape. So, you guys screaming out James Harden, who's having a phenomenal year, but I still think it's too early.
I think it's early.
It's early. But, Shaq, I hate that argument you just made because the best player doesn't always win MVP. The best player has never won MVP all the time.
I know.
Because Magic Johnson,
you said you don't know.
Whoever had the better season between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they always won MVP. Michael Jordan was probably the best player 3 or 4 years.
I mean, the year Steve Nash won, he was the best player.
Okay, so but hold on.
The 2 years?
The 2 years he won it, he was the best player.
Whatever. Do you go by what the player does statistically, or do you go by the team record?
It's a combination of both.
Because it says most valuable player as in singular.
But I'm doing as a player. They have this fake argument on other networks all the time. The MVP is always went to the guy who the best regular season record and the guy who was the best on that team. Michael Jordan was the best player. Kobe Bryant and yourself.
Well, it hasn't always gone to the player. Russell Westbrook won it last year.
But because he had a phenomenal.
I know, but I'm saying he wasn't on the team with the best record.
But I'm saying 90% of the time it went to the best player on the team that had the best record. Because Michael Jordan should have won it 5 or 6 more times when he was on a bad Chicago Bulls team because he was the best player.
Okay,
they gave it to somebody else.
There is weight to different things. There are weighting to your statistics. There's weight to your wins and losses. And depending on who's judging on it, thinks differently. For me, I would weight it team success, statistical success, and then astronomical individual areas. So if you
like a Russell Westbrook,
right? Like a Russell Westbrook, you lead the league in triple doubles. You lead the league in assists. That's how I would rate it.
Would you be great without yourself or without the team?
Say what?
Think about that. Would you be greater without yourself or without the team? Like, for example, when you won it, did you do it by yourself or was it because of the team?
It was because of the team.
Okay, so it should be called Most Valuable Team Award rather than Most Valuable Player.
Yeah, but we had the best record in NBA that year.
Because of you or because of the team? That's what I'm saying.
I think it was a combination.
He was the best player on the best team.
It was a combination of both. So that's why you got to weigh it.
You still bitter as Steve Nash?
Of course he is.
You're damn right I am.
Here's your $1 million IT startup.
Underdog, put that on my laptop.
See, y'all just taking a great idea and a great.
No, we're going to have fun with a